Yo, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy NoOne here, and today I am coming with you. What the fuck are we talking about? Today I'm coming with a fucking new story. This is a personal story that actually, I went through, and I figured, fuck it, let's share it with you. I just want to tell a story. It's one of my earlier stories, I guess you can say, but it's one that stands out, and I figured this would make for some pretty good entertainment. So I'm coming at you with this story today, and hopefully turns out good, have a good time, and yeah, I guess let's just dive into it. So I'm guessing by the title, I don't know while I'm recording this what the title is going to be, but I'm guessing you can kind of guess what the fuck the story is about already. So this happened like a long time ago, and this is kind of more like the start of my adventures or whatever, a different new chapter in my life, you can say. You can also consider this kind of more like my gateway experience or whatever the hell you want to call it. But it was my senior year, and it was prom night. Prom night is like, kind of a hoot, kind of not, kind of shit, kind of not. Only because the whole prom thing, personally, I think it's kind of overrated. Dances in general, it's not really my thing personally. It's not something like I was really looking forward to compared to like everyone else. Like it's the fucking biggest thing going on during at school. I mean, it is interesting. It's something where we can all get together and have a good time. But anyways, fuck all that. Let's get onto the story because this is not really prom itself. It's the after party, because I didn't go prom. Fuck that. So, it's the after party, because, I'm down to party, though. We're down to party. We're down to have a good time. So, yeah. Anyways, the important stuff happens after the prom, the after party. There's multiple people involved. Lots of different friends I had at the time during this party. And the first friend we'll call him Evan. Evan and I have been good friends throughout school, and I knew him, like, to get high, like, all the time. But Evan and some other guys actually invited me to the party, I believe, just the day of or a couple of days before, something like that. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm down, I'll party. Now, I've had previous experiences with, alcohol and weed before, but this is the night where I was really just planning to get excited, to get pretty messed up, because beforehand it was kind of just more of an in the moment thing and not really something that I really was seeking at the time. But at this point in my life, I was like, you know what, I don't give a fuck, let's go for it, let's get fucked up, So I also invited another friend, have another good time, have another friend, the more the merrier type of thing, and we'll call this friend Jordan. And Evan was also bringing a girl we knew, one of my friends too, not a friend that I talked to a lot, but more a friend just in school, like I seen her. I had a few classes with her over the years. Anyways, we'll call this girl Layla, and I kind of had a thing for Layla, like, it was more physical, like, she had a nice, rear end, if you know what I mean, and I just kind of had a thing in that regard, and it was just the four of us at first. So we got this bottle of some nice champagne. I forgot what it was called. I bet Evan remembers, but it was some nice champagne, like the alcohol content, I believe 35%, good enough to get you, messed up. And typical bottle size of fifth, we figured that would be enough. And it started off with me and Jordan chilling at my place, just talking about the party, basically like getting ready, pampering up or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And I honestly had no idea what kind of party it was going to end up being. And Jordan was asking me all these questions like, bro, are there going to be a lot of girls, like a lot of hot chicks? And he just kept asking me shit, and I think he was expecting it to be pretty low key, like no more than like 20 people probably. But this party was pretty packed. I'm talking like 100, 200 people. It was pretty packed, let me tell you. And I was like, probably, man. We'll find out when we get there. I don't fucking know. And I had to tell them this like 9 or 10 times. That's just kind of the person he is. He just asks fucking questions and questions. Just I guess out of anticipation. And he's asking me all these other questions like, oh, are you gonna try and hook up with one? Try and pull one, whatever. all these different types of questions, which is very typical of him, just excited. And I think I answered like, we'll see what fucking happens. I'm not really the guy to go out of my way to try and pull. That's not my style really. But anyways, around 10, I think, 10:30, Evan and Layla show up. They come to pick us up, and Jordan decided that he would just follow us in his car, and I guess that was fine. He could have fit in with us, but I guess he just decided like at that moment, and I decided, fuck it, I'll just go ride with Evan and Layla, since I had been hanging out with Jordan for like the past hour just getting ready. And eventually Evan drove us there, and there was a bunch of pizzas in the back. I remembered when he worked at Pizza Hut at this time, and he also showed me the bottle, which was pretty nice, let me tell you. Also, what I hadn't expected was weed. He showed me that he got enough for 3 blunts, and 2 were already rolled up, and I was like, fuck it, why the hell not? Like, get more fucked up, right? It was like 15-20 minutes or so before we actually got to the place, and the party had already started, and like it was starting to already bump, and that was pretty cool. What sucked though, last minute they started to charge people to get in, which is pretty stupid, honestly, in my opinion. But I know, people just want to make fucking, quick buck, whatever. I wouldn't have mind, but it was like literally like 10 minutes before we got there when they started to do this, and it was like $5 per person. And thankfully we had extra cash. That would have been so annoying if we did not have some extra cash on us, and we showed up, oh fuck, we gotta go, fucking get some money now, like fuck off. It would have made sense if they just would have told us beforehand. But anyways, yeah, that bullshit happens. Anyways, the party was more like a Mexican party. They had a tent up, they had a Mexican band, whatever, playing all this music, which I honestly didn't give a fuck as long as we had a good time. Personally, I prefer some like club shit, some hip hop shit, but I didn't let the music kill my vibe like one bit. So beforehand, I actually invited a couple friends. Like I was talking and texting to some friends. I was like, yo, slide, gonna be a party, let's tee up, And 2 of them came after we were there, and I think there was 1 already there when we showed up. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it was. So there would be more people joining us as the night went along. So when we first got there, we found a place to park, and the party was kind of like on a ranch, kind of like on this house. It's very hard to describe, but it was in a pretty open area, and we got out and found a place to post up. The tent area was super fucking crowded, and it was just filled with people dancing. And I decided that we would probably head over there after, we got fucked up a little, drank a little. And I can't say exactly how much I had to drink, but it was quite a bit. So this was the first time me and Evan, like, got fucked up like this together. And Evan, he expected me to be a pretty light drinker, but I wasn't really like, I'm not really like someone like that at parties. I'm someone who, is kind of like, fuck it, we're not bitches out here. We're getting fucked up, And up until that point, that kind of had been true, but the whole idea for me being a light drinker, but this kind of spur in the moment, I want to get fucked up type of thing, just fucking happened. I don't know what came over, I just wanted to, so I can't explain why. But anyways, I just started to drink, and I was just very anxious for that bottle, and he opened it. I believe he took a shot or 2, and then he gave it to Layla, who took a shot or 2, then then on to me. So he was shocked as fuck, because I took like a good swig that was worth like four shots or whatever, and Evan looked at me all wide-eyed. He's like, damn, bro. And Evan was really surprised, and I just returned this this grin at him, like, yeah, I'm that type of person. I'm that type of person, bro. So that was pretty funny. But I handed the bottle to Jordan. He had some as well, and Jordan didn't know there would be weed, and when he found out that we would be smoking, he got really excited. Jordan prefers weed over alcohol all the time, just to let you guys know. So Jordan kept asking then, so when we gonna light that first blunt, bro? And Jordan kept asking Evan this. So this caused Evan to light the blunt pretty early, which, I mean, no one was against. Like, who would be against that? You know, like, fuck yeah, light it, you know? Anyways, we had 2 more yet anyways after, who cares? And I remember a few people came by to talk to us. Some were shocked to see me, like, getting so intoxicated. So, and smoking was a good time, though. It was like we were just kind of cooling. And that blunt got me pretty nice. I think I started taking some hits, I think about 20-30 minutes in, when I first started to feel pretty gone. But I was still pretty aware of what was going on. And texting me this whole time was one of my good friends, Michael. He had taken an Uber and was the first to join the rest of us. I'd forgotten all about, like, to tell him that they were charging $5 though. And he had no cash on him. So it was kind of a problem at the first, like, when he came. Like, he was like, nigga, what? He was, like, kind of freaking out. But it's pretty funny what he did. So Michael asked his Uber driver, yo, can you spot me a 5? And the Uber driver, it was this girl, I guess, and he said just, you know, add 5 to the Uber's the fucking Uber charge as like a tip. So Michael was able to, you know, just get in just fine, luckily. And I was pretty fucked up at this point, but I had taken another 3 or 4 shots, I think, and pretty gone from that blunt. And Michael showed up, and of course we were happy to see his ass. And he was telling us, so my driver charged an extra $5. It asked me if I wanted to pay it, and I hit decline. Like, I guess there was an option, like his driver charged him $5 for a tip or something, and it was like either accept or decline. This nigga hit decline, like, fuck that, you know, and which honestly is an ass move, but I found it funny as hell. And we were just enjoying ourselves for a bit, enjoy the alcohol, enjoy the high from the blunt we got. Michael was sober, and I handed him the bottle, and he got some shots in. And since he was there, I got Evan to light up another one, which was totally cool. But then some bullshit came from Michael, and, oh, jeez. So he hits us with this. I don't smoke, bro. Like, bro, I don't smoke, yo. And this is some major bullshit, because I think, like, 2 weeks later, he was smoking with us at another party, which is, you know, some major bullshit. And he said he quit, quote unquote quit, okay? Yeah, sure you did, buddy. But he was telling us, you know, how to hit it good, and since he was experienced, he used to smoke before this, I know that, but he said, I quit for, I guess, I don't know, moral reasons. I don't fucking, he didn't explain why, but he was like, all right, because we were still smoking. He didn't, for whatever reason. He was like, all right, I want you to take a huge ass hit, like a deep, he was telling me. And then he was like, now don't let it out and take more breaths in. So, like, it's just a big ass inhale. So I took like 4 or 5 more breaths, which put, you know, the smoke further down into the lungs. And he was like, now hold. I held it for like 10 seconds before I had to cough up. And he was like, shit, you were going to be high as fuck, dude. And after that, I passed the blunt around some more, and it came back, and I showed Michael. And I was like, yo, check this out. And I took a really, really huge hits, because my lungs are pretty huge, and I can take you know, fat-ass hits. And I hit that shit hard and long. Like, I'm talking like 7-8 seconds, I think, of just hard hitting. Like, that shit was burning. And he was like, holy fuck, this nigga just took the biggest hit I ever seen in my life. He was like, that statement still holds true to this day. Like, most people say that. They're just like, God damn, when they see me. And after this incident, my fault, can't talk, we moved closer to the tent, and we just kind of mingled around a bit, you know, closer to the party. I think Layla, she went off with some other guy, but I still had the intention, you know, to make a move, you know, fuck it. And Evan was also into her at the time, and we both knew this. It's not like it was a competition between us, honestly. We're really cool with each other, and we didn't intend it to be a competition at all. We would always joke around, and one of our favorite things to say would be, yo, tag team. It's fucking terrible, but Anyways, we still had that intention, just keep in mind. But we met another friend of ours that was there at the party. We'll call this dude Armando. Now, Armando is, honestly, I'm going to be honest, he's kind of weird. He's kind of someone who isn't, like, too bright. And he did something not so bright at this party. But we're still friends with him. You know, we're all cool and stuff. And, of course, we're just happy to see the guy, even regardless of this stuff. But he was like, once he came up to us, you know, we said what up and, you know, started chit-chatting, whatever. And then he eventually asked us, yo, you guys want some beers? And we all looked at each other, and it's like, none of us were going to object to that. It's like, oh, hell yeah, fuck it, you know. Why the hell not? So I didn't want to keep drinking the champagne all night and hog all that shit either. So a beer sounded pretty decent. Personally, I hate beer, but at this point I was pretty messed up and I didn't really give a fuck. And it was, you know, something to get me more fucked up. So we all later found out that Armando took these beers from these guys, like pretty much stole them and gave them to us. And thankfully, none of it came back on us because this caused people to look at Armando like he was kind of some, like, little rat or something. Or like not a rat, but I don't know, like, just kind of like, I don't know what to call it. Like, not a snake, but I don't fucking know. Anyways, you get an idea. Like, he's kind of like that kind of guy, whatever. I think you guys know what I'm saying here. So if I had known that beforehand, though, I probably wouldn't have taken them. But thankfully, like, they were some of the best beers of all time. And you guys know what I'm talking about. The classics, the Coronas, okay? Honestly, I still feel they're pretty bad, like, just beers in general. They're still bad. I still hate the taste. But compared to everything else out there, it's, like, the least worst, you know? I'm just someone who hates the taste of beer, like, Corona at least doesn't cause me to gag or be like, you know, give me that crunch in my face. I'm just like, this is fucking gross. Like, fucking, this is terrible, gross. It doesn't cause, like, bad compared to other shit. Other shit, I'm just like, bleh. Like, I started to drink a little bit too much. I just kind of get this, like, dude, this is fucking gross. I want to throw this shit up. But thankfully, you know, Corona doesn't do that. And granted, I was, you know, still intoxicated at this point. So regardless, I always sipped on it, though. And I remember then seeing Layla with this dude. And I just, you know, being intoxicated as fuck, decided, fuck it, let's go dance with her. Normally, if I was sober, I probably would have been whatever, you know, let her off with this guy or whatever. You know, there's more fish in the sea type of thing. But I went for her anyways. And this dude that she was with got pissed, I guess. Which I didn't even notice at the time. But Evan kind of pulled me away to make sure, like, there would be no retarded-ass, drunk-ass fight. And personally, I would never freaking fight anyone, even if I was drunk. That's just kind of the type of person I am. But there isn't really, like, a violent bone in my body, I guess. But the tent was crowded, and we just kind of stood in a group kind of outside the tent, enjoying the vibe, and we were just talking. The topic of girls would come up quite frequently. And I remember Michael asking us, he was like, bro, if we even got a girl, where would we even go to do it? Okay. Michael also, freaking the first thing this dude gave me, I forgot to say this. The first dude he gave me, he's like, yo, take this. This nigga hands me a condom. I know you're going to need it. That's what he said. And he said, like, good looking, bro, you know. Nigga's funny as hell, but. And Evan, he responded to that, though. He was like, shit, we can probably take her behind the bushes or something, probably, man. And just like, we're just all talking about this ridiculous shit, enjoying ourselves, seeing some people from our school, you know, talking with them also. And I think at this point, I think it was around 11:30, midnight, but I was hardly paying attention at the time because I was, you know, pretty messed up and didn't really feel like moving around too much, but I was still enjoying myself. I don't know who suggested this, but we decided, yo, let's get another blunt. He was like, I think it was Evan. I don't remember. Someone said, let's get another blunt. But we were like, we all headed back to the car because we had to roll this one. The other two were already rolled. And I remember the walking. If you've never been intoxicated from alcohol, it's just kind of, the walking feels different. It's not to the point where I was, you know, stumbling around, you know, just kind of like can't walk type of situation. The way I would describe it is just kind of feeling light, like I weighed freaking 50 pounds or some shit. Like, I don't know if it's just me, but I get that general feel of just feeling lighter when intoxicated off alcohol. When I get really fucked up is when I start to stumble around though, but I never really get a heavy feeling when I'm off of it. But anyways, we get back to the truck, and I remember just hopping in the back seat with Michael. Jordan and Evan head up in the front seats, and Michael was like, "Yo, you got pizzas back here, bro? Oh shit, I'm gonna smash." And this dude was just smashing on pizzas, and we were just talking it up again, about something I don't know, but my one boy hit me up. He was someone I also anticipated coming to this party. We'll call this dude Nick. Nick is another cool ass dude, someone I knew from school, and we were really good friends. The reason he was coming late because he was spending all this time with his girlfriend, and at the time with his girlfriend situation, it was very weird. Like, she liked me, and she still does to this day, but I'm not gonna dive into that. It's more personal stuff. But anyways, he hit me up telling me that he was here, and I get excited as fuck to see this dude and just turn up with him. And the more the merrier, of course, but I was intoxicated as shit, and I'm just happy as shit, dumb on alcohol. And I remember I just get out of the truck without saying anything to anyone. I just start running towards the way we came in, yelling his name out. Nick, 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 and just yelling this shit. And anyone who saw me must have thought I was like a complete nut, but I mean, we were all pretty fucked up. And eventually I see this dude walking, and he hears me. This dude puts on a smile, and he just knows I'm drunk. Nick! And I just yell out and go hug this man. He knows how I am, and we have that type of friendship, so it's all good. And the first thing he says, just laughing out, "You're drunk as shit, aren't you?" For whatever reason, I love to deny this when I'm intoxicated, and I'm like, of course not. What are you talking about, bro? And all jolly and happy. But deep down, he knew. Of course he knew. It was obvious. So I led him back to the truck, which at the time I was struggling to find because there was just all these cars parked over, and I was just drunk, and this became a problem. We were like looking around for the truck, and I just remember yelling like everyone's name, like Michael, Evan, Jordan, just yelling their names out, and this goes on for minutes before Michael finds us, and we passed them, like we walked right by them, I think. And anyways, we get back to the car. Evan finished rolling up, and we figured we could go smoke it near the tent where the party was bumping. We head back to the party, and we met back with Armando. Evan went up the blunt, and we started to share. I think it was Evan first, Jordan, then me. I think Michael made this bullshit claim. Yeah, I said that. Michael had his bullshit claim. He couldn't smoke. Nick hadn't even smoked once yet in his life, and I believe Armando, he was on the same bullshit as Michael for some reason. I don't know. Like, it's just we guys. Calm the fuck down. Like, I'm serious. Calm the fuck down. It's not gonna be that terrible. All right. So these guys were treating the shit like Molly, or acid, to a person who only smokes weed, or like heroin or meth to a person who does kind of harder drugs, but not to that extent. If you know you get what I'm saying. But Armando gets Nick a beer, and we're all having a good time. And I remember just drinking more, smoking more, and getting more fucked up for a while. I wanted to go dance at one point, and I remember walking into the little tent area for a minute, but I was like, I'm not fucking with this. I can't dance to this shit, like this Mexican music and shit. So I just didn't know how to dance to that type of shit because it wasn't my thing, I did want to, but then it's just like, eh. So we just chilled on the side, mingling, whatever. I remember we had to take peas on the bushes and all this, and just talking it up with other people, meeting different people, having a good time, And I think this goes on about to 12:30, 1 a.m. And this next shit is the most eventful thing of the night, to say the least. The music just stopped playing, and everyone went pretty silent. You can maybe guess what happens next. Some dude yells out, "Yo, the cops are coming." Oh shit. Everyone goes in a fucking frenzy. I swear to God. Whenever someone mentions cops, people go batshit crazy and just try to get the fuck out. Which makes sense. I mean, no one wants to get arrested. But from what I've seen, when cops generally start busting people at parties, or bust a party in general, especially of this size, it's just too much of a hassle for them. Like, what they're normally after at this point, especially at a party this big, who the fuck hosted it? whose house is this? They want to know that, regardless. But we still get the fuck out. We're not gonna just stay. So I just remember repeating, what the fuck? And we started walking our way back to the car because we kind of knew that we wouldn't be popped, but we were just kind of acting stupid and completely irrational. So we just needed to get the fuck out. But other people would run, like, these motherfuckers would run, and I don't think they just never experienced shit with police. Anyways, I remember walking back, and it felt different. It was just kind of a blur because I was fucking drunk, and I remember still holding my beer, and I remember seeing the sheriff's car, and I was like, oh, fucking just threw that shit on the ground, and just walking, and I think, yeah, Jordan dipped to his car, and Armando went with some of his friends, I think, yeah, Nick went to his car, then Michael, Evan, me, and Layla went to the truck, and Michael actually needed a ride home because, he took an Uber, so we were, planning to drop him off first, and I just kept repeating, what the fuck, and Michael was saying, I figured it would be busted, it would be like a party this size in a neighborhood type of area. It would be busted. It wasn't that secluded, it's very big, very loud. I figured, yeah, that makes sense, But Evan said this. He said, hide this bottle, bro. He gave me the bottle. I just put it under someone's jacket or something. And Layla was the one driving at the time. And Evan told me later the whole point he brought her was so that she can drive us back because he wanted to get fucked up too. He didn't want to, drive and put everyone's life at risk, which was cool of him. But I won't really get into their friendship situation too much. That's a whole different thing. But I remember seeing a cop as we drove out, and we just drive past him. And the ride back is something I hardly fucking remember, just in pieces. One moment we were freaking driving. The next moment we're at Michael's house and saying peace out to him. Then I was next to get dropped off. Jordan planned on crashing in my place, and he was already there, so that was cool. But he had the drive all fucked up, and he told me he was worried as fuck, but he managed to get back. But the drive back to my place, I hardly remember. What I remember is that the next moment we were pulling up to my crib, and for whatever reason, I started to rub on Layla from behind, like on her shoulders and shit and all this. Like, just trying to be all sexual. Why? I don't know. I was drunk and dumb, intoxicated and dumb. She wasn't folding, though, which sucked. But I knew she knew that I was fucked up. And the whole time, Evan was just laughing his ass off while Layla is feeling pretty uncomfortable from this situation. But Evan eventually tells me that it's, like, time to go. And I comply, figuring, Jordan was waiting. And I just needed some sleep after a night like this anyways. But I remember I was just retarded. I leave the car for whatever reason. I jumped on the hood of the car while they were trying to pull off. I was just acting goofy as fuck. And, no thoughts were really, or, logical thoughts were running through my head. Just, I was really dumb. So Evan's laughing his ass off again, and I think Layla did too. But Evan was telling me that, I had to get off, and I wouldn't. I was just laughing the whole time, drunk as shit. And I remember that Layla just backed up, and eventually that got me off the car. And this time they finally left. And that's pretty much the story. I remember Jordan and we just crashed like right away in my room. The next morning I had practice for track actually, which was definitely interesting because I was still pretty fucked up when I woke up. I think it was like 8 a.m. We went to sleep, I think 2 or 3 or something. So yeah, kind of sucks because I remember 5-6 hours of sleep with a intoxicating feeling. It's not the best for a practice, especially when you're someone who has to hurdle. But somehow I did it. I got good times. We were being timed that morning too. And I remember it felt weird, and I think my coach knew something was up with me. But he didn't say nothing, luckily. And but yeah, that's pretty much that night though. That was a pretty interesting time, pretty fun time. Definitely a hoot to talk about. But yeah, that was a nice time. So yeah, that's that story, man. So there's gonna be more stories. If you did enjoy a story like this, just tell me in the comments below. If you want to hear more stories, I have tons of these stories. Just let me know in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe, show the support. it has been your boy No One here, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.